Hello everyone, my name is Pjotr, and I will give you a presentation about the University College of Twente today. This is a pre-recorded webinar, so if you do have any questions, myself or Loni or someone else will try to respond to them in the chat during or after the presentation. Let me quickly share my screen. There you go. All right, first I'm going to briefly introduce myself. So as I said, I'm Pjotr, I'm 19 years old, I'm half Belgian, half Dutch, lived in the Netherlands all of my life, but I got sent to a British school because my parents thought it would be a great way for me to immerse myself in different cultures and learn English in a profound way. I did GCSEs, the British system, and then I switched to IB to allow me to do more subjects because my subject I have many interests in different subjects. And I like basketball, football, frisbee. And as I say here, I like to make a difference. Especially that last quote is one that really led me to pick the UCT. And if that is a quote that also suits you and you think, hey, I think of that every day, then perhaps stick around a university college, or specifically the University College of Twente might be a great study option for you. So where it began for me is that I struggled in the past, in the last years of high school, where I lacked motivation to do anything. I lacked motivation to study and to do anything academically because I never saw the point in any exercises we did. I never saw the point in learning for an exam to just then forget the knowledge days after. And I wanted to do more. I wanted to make a footprint, make a difference, and do something practical while still at a substantial level. So my mom, she dragged me along to many open days in the Netherlands. I went to some in England. I was thinking of going to some in Germany and in other places. But I kept responding to my mom when asked the question, hey, how was the open day? I kept responding, hey, it's a nice study, but it's not perfect. And I looked at business courses, I looked at social science courses, chemistry, engineering, because I liked all of the subject. That's the reason why I also chose IB, but it was never, I could never find a study that had all that. So eventually my study advisor spoke with me, my study advisor from my high school, and she pointed me to the University College of Twente. And I was very unfamiliar with University College at the time, and I was like, is this university level? Yes. Is it more practical? Yes, but what does it mean? So eventually I went to have a look in the inside day, and here I am. I'm a second year student speaking to you about recruiting you to join us and join me at the University College of Twente. But okay, that's enough about me. Now more about the University College Twente and what makes it so special and unique. Well, as I already covered, I never really saw the point in learning for an exam or following a traditional way of learning of answering questions, cramming useless things and ideas and equations just to write them down once and never to use them again. I never saw the point in that. I never liked that. So what the University College does instead of that is that it allows you to make a plan, a personal development plan, or PDP in short, which allows you to write your personal academic and also social or emotional or whatever goals for the upcoming semester. By the way, every year has 2 semesters. And what this allows you to do is to really say, look, this is how much I want to improve in physics, maths, social science, adapting to a new lifestyle. And you are your own assessor. So in that way, you are never learning for someone else. You're never learning something that's useless because you only learn what you deem useful at the end of the day. Of course, it is externally assessed to make sure that it is at a substantial honors level. But in the end, it's you that creates your own path of learning, which I found really interesting, and I've loved it so far. So that's the PDP. At the start of every semester, you have 6 semesters in total, 2 a year. You would write a plan. You would write up, hey, you get given 4 goals, 4 or 5 goals. One of them being, for example, make sure you have a certain level of across all domains. The domains being mathematics, natural sciences, and social sciences. Well, you get to argue what level you think is good. If you have always been good in mathematics, you can say, hey, I've worked at this level, so I want to go this far this semester. Same with social sciences, same with natural sciences. Now you also have semester goals regarding group work and soft skills, or regarding electives, which I'll get on to in a second. And you have to write how you think you are going to achieve or attain these semester goals in the upcoming semester. So that's the PDP. Halfway through the semester, you get your progress gets externally assessed to evaluate whether you are on track on achieving those goals and whether those goals are still realistic or if you perhaps could do a little more. So that is what happens in the MTE, and that is the midterm evaluation. And you at the end of every semester, you write your self-evaluation report, which is where you reflect on all your activities. So you use all your grades, feedback, assessments, personal reflections to show that you have passed the semester goals. Now, we are an honor study. So what does that mean? It does mean that we expect you to pass everything academically at a certain level, which is the equivalent of a Dutch level 8, which in IB terms, I would say is closest to a 6. Of course, this all comes up to argument. So if you have never had much experience in mathematics and you do worse in mathematics, but you've argued from the start that, hey, you were struggling and you just wanted to get down of the basics, then perhaps that could be fine. But on a base, to keep it very general, we expect you to pass everything academically at level 8, because you get to do subjects from a very broad, across a very broad spectrum. So if I haven't made it clear, in a university college, or specifically the University College Twente, you get to mostly choose your subjects to essentially customize your way of learning, which are called, these subjects are called electives. You have domains and electives. Domains are courses that everyone follows, so that you have basic mathematical, basic social science, and basic natural science skills. And then you have electives, which I'll come on to in a second, which spice things up. This leads on to the curriculum. So some examples of domain courses, as you can maybe see in the diagram on the left, include calculus, introduction to social science, Newtonian mechanics. And in the second semester, thermodynamics, programming, and innovation in business and society. So those are the main courses which everyone follows. But what university colleges what makes university colleges so special is this large elective space, which you can see in semester 2, 3, and 4, and 6. And these electives are essentially free space. So what you can do courses from any study, either in the University of Twente or online or at any other university, to make your learning complete. And that is when coming back to the PDP and SER. In your PDP, you argue why you think these electives will help you in your learning. So in my case, I am heading towards business predominantly. So for example, I'm taking I took an entrepreneurship course. So in the PDP, I say, hey, I want to look into business. One thing of business is entrepreneurship, which I haven't really looked at too much in the past. So I think this course would be really interesting for me and my academic profile. Hence, I took it. And in my SCR, I argued on my presentation, I got an 8. On my in my exam, I got an 8. I got feedback on my speaking skills, which were good. I believe I've learned a lot. Hence, I believe I have passed this with honors. And that is essentially how the process goes. It might sound really complicated in the couple of minutes I'm trying to explain it to you. So please do feel free to ask any questions or join as a student for a day. But I promise you it will become a lot clearer over time if this is really something that you are interested in. So as you can briefly see, in the first semester, you don't have any electives yet because we want to guide you into the university life and make sure you have a substantial basis of maths, physics, and social sciences. But from semester 2 to 4, you get continuously more elective space so that you can develop into the academic person you would like to be. Semester 5, we stimulate, or the UCT stimulates students to go abroad. We have many partner universities in China, Japan, US, Canada, Egypt, England, Czechia, you name it. There's 40, 60 countries available for a semester abroad. And then in semester 6, you have a capstone project or a thesis, which as I'm a second year student, I'm not too familiar yet as of yet. But that is a big project where you write a big essay and you do research for about half a year as well. So that sums up the curriculum for most of it. As you can see, I also wrote down personal pursuits. This is as it is, it's a personal pursuit. So every year you also do besides having these semesters, you do one personal pursuit a year. And this personal pursuit can be anything. It can be academic. It's a project, a personal or a collaborative project that can involve anything. It can either be academic, musical, sporty, creative. For example, me, I wanted to do something that was a little less academic, and I've always been interested in music, so I partnered up with another student, and we made a music rap video. No, hey, that is a little less academic. This year, I'm looking more into electronics and also improving my German in the process. There have been students who started their own business, created art with nature. You name it, it's possible. So that is a 6 EC space where you can do where you get some funding from the university college, and you can do whatever project you want for a year. And it involves the same active reflection of saying, hey, this is improving my learning in this way to really shape your academic profile. Oh, ooh, the slide has not turned out too great here. I would like to quickly mention some project examples. So I don't know if Lonnie has made it clear yet already, but university colleges really use CBL and PBL, challenge-based learning or problem-based learning, which means that instead of using theory to do exams, you use theory you learn in class and apply it to projects straight away, which in some cases get serious recognition from companies, if deemed good, of course. So if you can read it, I want to lead you through some. One is a semester project. So every semester we have a semester project. And this is just a really large-scale project where you tackle a socio-technical problem. One example, if I can show it, is in my second semester, a group and I tackled autonomous cargo shipping and whether that would be a viable option of transport in years to come. So we looked at the current state of affairs and recent innovations and competitors. We looked at regulations. We looked at a short-term implementation plan and a long-term socio-technical scenario, and considered, hey, would this be something that could be viable in the future? Furthermore, to make it more interesting, of course, we also planned a disaster, in our case, an oil rig explosion, and we considered if this would change the timeline of this technology. A bit similar to how the Hindenburg disaster really disrupted the Zeppelin innovation a century ago. So this is one way of doing a project together in a group of 5. Another thing that I have done is I'm currently in an electronics course So with 3 other Atlas students, we are making a desk robot, one which reacts to music, can dance, and has little LED lights which form its eyes, which can move depending on a microphone sensor. That is fun. We have another course I did is research methodology. Now this is a social science course, and for this in groups we have created research proposals. My group did it about the perceived dangers of bicycling, and why if these perceived dangers may be mediated by fear mongering of media. So that is another project example. Of course, there are many more, and as I said, there are many PP projects as well, but there are way too many to mention just in a couple minutes. But of course, in the chat you can ask any more questions about projects, and I will try to I will do my best to answer them. Onto admission. So with admission, of course, we are looking for good level of English, and of course that you pass your high school diploma. Higher grades are of course always better, but it's not essential, because our main thing we are looking for is a student is open-minded, has good collaboration skills, thinks of questions like how can I make a difference, rather than sticking to the traditional education system, and is ready to move in and live and work with students. More on that later. So how does the admission work? Well, we are a research university study. So of course your academic profile at the moment must align with research university studies. So your high school diploma must be one where you can get into research university studies in the Netherlands. Perhaps Lonnie can give you a bit more information on whether you are eligible. Then you need to send a motivation letter and your CV, where following you get invited for an interview or an insight day, where some students and professors evaluate whether they think that you are a right fit to join us. And of course, you then also get to see a bit more about our study, and also get to see if you think that you are a right fit for us. And if this feeling of righteousness is mutual, then of course you will get accepted into our study, given of course that you pass your high school diploma. All right. Further comments. I would like to briefly show a photo of our beautiful campus. We are the only American-style campus in the Netherlands, and as far as I know, in Northwestern Europe. This means that everything that you need is on campus. Sports facilities, there are 60 of them, 60 clubs, Quidditch, football, basketball, volleyball, you name it, we have it. Culture associations, there's a supermarket, there's a gym, there are so many research facilities, it's trees, so many trees, it's very green, as you can see in the photo. There's everything there, that was one of the main reasons why I chose University College Twente over other university colleges, was because it was so green, and because of the technological aspect, of course, that we are a technological university, and it provides a lot of opportunities to collaborate with other technical students. Then there are, I would like to briefly talk about living quarters. As I briefly mentioned before, we are looking for students who can live and work together. So in the first year, you will live in the bottom right building, and one of the living rooms shown is in the top left photo. And you will live in the top floors, whereas lectures and projects happen in the bottom floors. I don't have any photos of the bottom floors, but I can assure you that the bottom floor is a very nice study space, as I usually spend all my days studying there as well. then you may be considering, hey there, what are my opportunities? I have a list here of master opportunities and job opportunities. Of course, our study is quite young. I believe we're 8 years old, so our alumni are only 2 to 3 years old. So if your preferred profession or master is not on here, that doesn't mean that it's impossible to go there, because we just haven't had that many students as of yet, because we are just a super young study. If you want, I can send you these lists later. To wrap it all up, I would like to give some personal advice to see whether if this study fits for you. So do you have good communication skills, good collaboration skills? Do you have many areas of interest? Such as, do you like, for me I really liked business, but I also really liked natural sciences, including chemistry and physics. And I didn't really know a study that could combine both. Do you work well under pressure? Given that you are expected to get level 8s on average, and work on real life projects, it can be that sometimes like you might have to work under some pressure, but of course you also have that in high school and other studies. But if you work well under pressure, or even thrive under pressure, then this is a great work environment for you. We are looking for open-minded students, because we are culturally diverse. And I think that if you like to go beyond what is expected, or what others expect of you, or maybe perhaps what you expect of yourself, then this might be a great study for you. Finally, I added empathetic in brackets, because everyone in Atlas is everyone in the UCT is together in a bubble. So there's a metaphorical bubble, and we want everyone to thrive. Hence, we also push each other. So it is great to help each other achieve goals. And whenever you are in trouble, there are other students who will try to help you become the best version of yourself, of whatever you can be. Anyways, this was my short webinar on the University College of Twente. I think I gave you a lot of information in 20 minutes, so feel free to ask any questions. I can send you this presentation, or I have a brochure and another presentation available with a lot more information. So I can share those if interested. Please feel free to contact me or Lonnie. And thank you very much for listening.